Hi guys, hi there, how are all of you? I hope you all are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well guys, today I'm back again with a very interesting movie review that is there for you people. Well guys, today what am I going to be talking about? And you can clearly see the thrill and the excitement that is there on my face is going to be because of the fact that today I'm going to be talking about one of my most favorite actors, or literally if I say it, he is my most favorite actor. The actor that I'm going to be talking about as far as today is concerned is none other than Tom Cruise himself. Why? Because of the fact Mission Impossible is out. This time we are going to be having the 7th sequel of Mission Impossible that's going to be out there, and the name of the movie is Mission Impossible Death Reckoning, and this time we're going to be talking about part 1 of it because part 2 is obviously going to be expected out. Now if all of you have been following the Mission Impossible franchise, you guys would know what Tom actually brings to this franchise, and really everyone is just so crazy about the character in itself. Yes, his friends at the same time, Luther and Benjamin at the same time. Yeah, there was Lisa who also got inducted, and Rebecca Ferguson, but the thing that makes it really is stand out is obviously one guy, and that's Tom. No one literally can imagine anyone else doing the particular role of Ethan Hunt and working for IMF. All of you, if you guys don't know about it, IMF basically stands for the Impossible Mission Force that's there, and obviously it's Ethan Hunt who leads it out. So now this is how the things eventually go along. How does the movie eventually start off? Again, a mission that has been put forward for Tom Cruise. Now before we go on to the particular description of how the movie was, what actually happened in the movie and how the things eventually folded up, there are a few things that I would like to discuss. Every time whenever a Mission Impossible movie comes, I always have one thing in my mind, that's it. Now this is the limit through which Tom can go. He can't do anything beyond that. But each and every time when I see it, I just literally am amazed at how Tom literally takes it to the next level. Even in this particular movie, the way the stunts have been performed by Tom Cruise, they are just amazing. Means he literally takes the bar so high that it makes it literally very difficult for other individuals to even catch up with what he is doing, and they just stand and admire what he has done. In the field or in the time of technology where everyone goes for CGIs and stuff like that, Tom prefers to do such kinds of stunts, himself. And why does he want to do it like that? It's because of one very important reason. The reason being this thing up, Tom wants to give his audience the experience that really is worth it. He wants them to feel the theatrical experience that's there. Because of that theatrical experience that Tom wants his audience to experience, he does these stunts. Now this time again, jumping with the motorbike off a cliff, that was something which Tom did. It was again amazing. And the other stunts which are there, like driving in Rome and throughout in a small Fiat, that was also something which was cool enough, but that can be done. But this was something that required cuts, because if anything happens, Tom is gone. And but anyhow, he pulled it off, and we pulled it off in style. Now coming on back to it, that how the story eventually folds up, and that's what we are going to be discussing about as far as today's Mission Impossible is concerned. All in all, if I say it, worth it. Very lengthy movie as compared to the more compared ones, because Tom's movie always have a particular story telling that they want to do so, and they're not concerned about this thing whether the time duration passes on or not. So it's almost a 2 hour and 40 minutes movie that's there, unusual like the other Hollywood movies which aren't so lengthy at all, because of the fact it has a lot to tell, and that is what makes it even more interesting. Yes, there are a few disappointing things that tend to happen, not in the as far as the movie is concerned, but yes, few deaths that take place, especially Lisa. She eventually dies in this particular film, and that is something which I would say is something that really is a bit hurting, but that's how the things are. Now let's go on and let's see how the story actually unfolds. If we start off with how the story actually unfolds, the story unfolds in this particular manner that we see this thing up, that Tom eventually gets a mission. The mission now is this, that he has to retrieve a part of the key that is there, the part of a key. Now that thing eventually is even more interesting. That key is something that has the control of a particular AI oriented thing that's there, that's going to be controlling each and everything digitally. Now AI eventually is particularly taking over the whole world in the future, we know that, and the wars that they are being planned is this, that whoever gets the access to all these digital related equipments and stuff like that is going to be the one who's going to be in power. And all the fights that are now going to be taking place are not going to be guerrilla wars or stuff, but they are going to be the wars of ballistic missiles and stuff. So Tom eventually has to do that. Now the thing that is there is this, that he has to retrieve that key from his own particular friend who had stolen it, and that's obviously Rebecca Ferguson. Now the thing that tends to make it even more interesting is what? The thing that eventually takes it even more interesting is this, that eventually he goes to the desert and find her out, and there is obviously a particular missionaries that have been given bounty for her, and eventually she is saved by Tom and he retrieves that one part of it. Now the IMF in charge, who eventually handed over the mission to Tom fees this thing up, that guy has literally lost it because he wants that ultimate power and he wants to misuse it, and that is where Tom decides to go rogue against him. And this is something from where the story eventually starts off. But over there we come the arrival of a new individual who pops up, is this, the guy also known as Gabriel, one because of whom Tom was the one who eventually came into IMF, because of the fact that Tom was caught in such kind of a thing, and his beloved was killed by this guy Gabriel, and then eventually Tom had to make a choice that whether he's going to go with the penalties that are gonna be there, or he's going to make the choice of joining the IMF, where he joined the IMF and then eventually became Ethan Hunt and so on like that. So that's how the things eventually unfold, and that's what the thing is. Now what does that key eventually do? The key eventually does this thing when it gets combined. Now that AI's control that is there, it eventually plans things and does things in itself. So if someone wants to control that AI, that key is the thing through which that thing can be encoded, which is bound down in a submarine that's there, and from there it can be rewritten and then it can be controlled. It does this thing up that it erases each and everything automatically. Means if you do some certain things up, you don't have any evidence that is left behind. In this movie, the thing that is there is this extraordinarily exceptional stunts that are there, and at the same time the chase eventually tends to go along. Over there he comes across a picker, and she is someone who has been assigned especially for this particular thing. She picks the one half of the key from Tom, and Tom eventually chases her down, and they end up in Rome. And in Rome eventually then they figure this thing out, that there is another character who gets into it, that's Vanessa. Now Vanessa is someone who is the dealer who eventually wants that keys to be delivered to the IMF and guy, but eventually that's how the story eventually folds off. So this is how the storyline moves on. If we talk about it, Gabriel at the end of it, he has them all stuck in a particular train is going to crash down. Tom along with the girl is stuck in the train, and train is eventually falling down off a particular bridge. But the thing which tends to happen is this, that Gabriel's key that was there in his pocket, Tom has the key now, and they are falling down, and that's where the movie eventually ends up. All in all, if we talk about this particular film, guys, there is one thing that I would like to say: extremely good. and the scenes, they really show what this movie was worth it, and whether it's worth it or not, you guys can go to the theater and see it by your own self. All in all, if I talk about it, really remarkable stuff that has been portrayed by this particular film, and I guess that's it for it. And if you guys are really fond of action movies, and if you guys have been following Mission Impossible, this movie is not going to disappoint you. Now obviously I have to go, and before that I want you guys to subscribe to my channel. Guys, you have to subscribe to it, you have to press the like button, you have to comment on it, because your support is something that is literally very important. Now this is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Take care. Bye bye.